Welcome back to another JERiCK podcast episode. My name is JERiCK.
And I'm Felicia.
And I'm Chris Mark.
Hey, welcome back. Woo!
Like
Yo.
your sweater, Chris Mark.
Thank you. It's a nightmare.
The night before Christmas.
It is a
Man.
week before Christmas.
When do you watch it?
When do I watch it?
When do you watch Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to watch that shit whenever I wanted to.
But-
Halloween, Christmas,
Okay.
freaking Easter, whatever.
You know, I haven't seen that movie.
Shut
No
up.
way.
Get out of my face.
I've
Dude,
never
it's
seen
such a
it.
good ass
And
movie.
That is when our friendship ended. Yeah, I always watch it literally before Christmas
Dude,
because that's what it's for. But then
Yeah.
some people watch it during Halloween. I don't know.
I'm about to
mean,
check that out.
it's a
Yeah.
good ass. I love that movie. I used to watch that
It's
thing every
really, I
day.
do.
That thing was on 24/7 for me,
I really enjoy it as well.
and the songs are catchy.
This is true.
Yeah, I only know of it because I played Kingdom Hearts, and then that was part of the game.
Oh, really?
Aside from that, like I don't know anything much about
Wait a
it.
second, is because Kingdom Hearts is a Disney game, right?
Yeah, it's
Then
a
what?
Disney and like Square Enix, which was the Final Fantasy stuff.
So I'm kind of confused because I know that The Nightmare Before Christmas is DreamWorks, no?
No, it should be Disney.
I swear it wasn't.
Don't look at
Disney.
me. I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe I got a bootleg version of this.
It
Or is
wasn't
it-
even the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is it or is it Pixar? Which
don't
is
know.
All
part
right.
of Disney.
Oh my god.
I mean,
look it up.
okay, check it real quick because I swear it was DreamWorks.
Nightmare.
No, it can't be.
Before
It can't be DreamWorks.
Christmas is a family
Drum roll.
musical. Tim Burton.
Yes.
Disney movie.
What do I say? Who owns it?
Like, is it
Who-
producers? Production.
Who produced? Where art thou produced? Who
Fun facts.
produced?
Sure, you got me. Hold on, let me.
Tim Burton. Oh God, this is showing me nothing. Touchstone Pictures, a Disney-owned studio.
Yep. There
What?
you go.
No way. Okay.
Touchstone.
I guess so. That makes sense now.
Doo-doo-doo.
I did.
Yeah, that's why it was in the
Okay.
game.
I did.
Well,
know.
Nightmare Before Christmas. If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it, or else.
Dude, it's a,
Fine.
Jack
fine.
Skellington, bruh.
I'll
Jack
watch
Skellington.
All
It looks
right.
cool though.
It's nice. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's also has this like cuteness to it for like the romantic vibe with
Yeah.
the characters too. So
It's like
you
a
get
ghost dog. and
Yeah.
Boogie boogie.
The oogie
Yeah.
boogie.
Boogie boogie man. Okay.
Okay.
What'd you do this week?
What did I do this week?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, the same as what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've
Coming
been,
into the
yeah,
studio
I've been
every
coming
day.
into the studio pretty much every day.
Very nice.
Filming, editing. Yeah, I guess nothing much.
All right.
Yeah,
That's fair.
typical.
It's okay to have a consistent, a consistent routine.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm
good.
still on the XG train.
Yes.
Stray Kids.
I love both of them.
Stray Kids.
Still gonna be a Blackpink fan though. So.
First of all, their latest song, Walk in Water.
Stray Kids.
Stray Kid.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Well, they have 2 album drops you got to listen to. Giant, it was their Japanese album, and then their recent one. And their recent one, it's more hip hop.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. And there's also a lyric in there that says, "You can call me Harry Potter," so I was sold. I was like, this is it. Like, they're combining everything. They did a cover for NSYNC. Now they're bringing in Harry Potter. How could I not enjoy them?
Yeah, you know what I've been wanting to do for like the reaction stuff too. I've been wanting to do like a album reaction,
Oh, okay.
where I just listen to the whole album and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and see if because like I'm sure they're gonna have music videos for some of their songs, but not. I don't think in every single one, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not every single one.
Yeah, because I got to do that with like the XG stuff too. Because like they have an album that came out like a month ago, and they've only done like maybe like half of it is like in music
Music
video.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So yeah, I'll do reactions for that too. I feel like I
Cool.
want to do a listening because I do like Stray Kids. I like the last album that you showed me.
Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, that one's good.
Dominate or 8 ATE.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah.
I've liked a lot of them.
So they got 2 albums since I've listened to them.
Yes.
Okay, now I got a lot
They
of
be
catching up
going
to do.
fire like nonstop.
Damn. So how long has it been since? So how many?
I feel like they had a drop last month and they had a drop like a week ago.
Holy shit, for
Couple-
real?
Yeah.
They're probably just trying to.
They're purging, like not purging, but like
just doing a lot.
they're just dropping shit.
Yeah.
It's like bangers at the bangers.
Sometimes it's a requirement. Like if you
I
have
was
a
gonna
contract,
say, I
yeah.
feel like it's part of their contract because they have record label. They're signed to record labels, obviously JYP, and then there's a Japanese one, and then one in America,
So let me get this straight. Are they Japanese or are they Korean?
Korean.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. But
But they do sing Japanese.
I feel like
in
that's
their
a very
Japanese album.
oh,
I wouldn't say typical, but it's very common.
Yeah, for them to like merge or
Yeah, and I'm curious too if Japanese and Korean. I wonder if there's
similar.
yeah.
I heard the language has some similarities. So
I wonder if like the structure wise on like sentences are
Maybe,
kind
I
of like
don't know.
similar.
yeah.
Because I've studied Japanese and it's different. The way they structure like sentences is different from English.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like backwards.
It's like the subject is first and then comes a
The
sentence.
verb is usually the last one. Yeah, which is interesting. So I wonder if that's why it's easier for them to learn it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just
Possibly.
assuming.
So it's kind of like Tagalog and Spanish.
Nah, I feel like that's too much.
Spanish and Italian.
Well,
Could
Spanish
be,
Italian
yeah.
is very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I mean, now that I think about it too, like I speak 2 different. Well, they say dialects, but I feel like it's different language.
Right.
Because I speak Bisaya and Tagalog like fluently.
You speak Visaya?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him.
So I'm
Shit.
technically like trilingual.
Wow.
So like
yeah,
it's,
it is very different.
yeah, because it is. Yeah, because I mean there are some words that are similar, but for the most part, like it's very different.
Right.
So I wonder if that's kind of the same. Like if they speak Japanese and you know that they can easily switch because it's common for a lot of like K-pop artists.
Seriously.
Interesting.
So our Japanese friends out there or Korean friends, talk to
Yeah.
us. We want to know
If you
this.
speak
know.
both
Where's-
languages.
The stays at.
Let us know. We're very curious.
I'm still kind of new, okay? Oh, man.
But anyways, that's my update.
Very nice. Very nice. For me, God, I don't even know where this week went. I feel like last week jumped to today.
Oof.
It was
Right.
kind of a busy week.
Oh yeah, because
What did I do this week?
technically we just recorded like a few days ago, right?
My whole week just went right. See, and that's not good because that's when you're like missing out on life, I feel. When things are just going so fast,
Like
you don't have time
autopilot?
to be present. But I've had some good moments. I feel like I've been in a really good mood.
That's good.
Just very busy. I did edit some photos. I had some photo shoots. I'm very busy at work. Spending a lot of time with my son. Well, not that I don't normally, but just very engaged with him. So I try to play with him after school.
Hey, there you go.
And he has break coming up. So,
Oof.
I also participated in some work festivities.
Like
we
what?
did a
Christmas
themed-
party.
Well, we did a themed week. So we did pajama day where I dressed up in a onesie as an elf.
Cool.
And then we had like hat day and I wore this Grinch looking hat. It had a swirly tree with a bell.
Oh, okay.
And then yesterday I wore my Christmas, the Santa with the thong. That's what I wore. And I went all around the warehouse too. I was like,
like,
look at my shirt.
What do you see?
I know.
That's pretty
But
dope.
it was a good hit, I feel. I was trying to bring joy to the people I
Hey, man,
work
you got
with.
people thinking then with that.
Right?
I mean,
And then
I'd have been like, what the
tomorrow-
hell?
Huh?
What?
Oh, and then tomorrow we have our Secret Santa. So
Nice.
that'll be fun.
So you guys like exchanging gifts?
Yeah, I participated.
Oh, so it's like an option.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming there's like shit ton of people that work in there, right?
Well, this is more so for the office.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's not necessarily on the operations floor.
Oh, okay.
Which I guess we could, but that would be huge. That's a lot to
Just spending
do.
time.
Yeah. So.
Hey, I guess you have some sort of a productive week, I guess.
Yeah, just busy.
Yeah.
Busy work. So can't complain.
Well, how about you, Chris Mark? You haven't been in a podcast in a while. What did you do this week?
Well, let me answer that question first. Why I haven't been here. Because I haven't been able to get around town. I got into somebody destroyed my car, basically.
Oh my goodness! Someone destroyed your car?
Yeah, basically it was parked in front of my car, and somebody decided to just ram their car right into my car. But it's no biggie. I was like,
Purposely?
I mean, I think she was high, honestly.
Oh,
It was a girl too that hit me, and she thought that the car automatically goes straight. I'm like, So
yeah, she
and then
was definitely under the
yeah,
influence.
definitely, because when the cops came, they found that she had drugs and stuff on her. So
Oh.
I could only assume that she was
Do drugs,
was-
kids.
she was definitely not
or
in the
else
right
that's
mind.
gonna happen.
But now I'm scared to park my. I got a new car, but I'm scared to park that
good.
around the street now. So I'm like, ugh. Because trauma, that's what happens. But yeah, that's why I haven't been in a podcast in a while, because I just haven't been able to get around town. And I've been searching for a new vehicle, which I finally found
Very
after a
nice.
month.
What vehicle? What kind?
This is a keep secret. I don't want people to know what kind of car I drive.
He
I'll tell you
drives a
later.
Ferrari.
You tell me later.
Okay, fine. It's a Lambo, okay? It's a black SWV Diablo. I'll show you my G-Wagon.
Your G-Wagon.
Okay, aside from that, so JERiCK asked me that question earlier. It's like, what have I been up to this week? And I was on the same boat with you, or the same boat as you. I was like, what the hell did I do this week? And I was like, man, I don't even know. But I was like, wait a second. A couple of things, actually, as a matter of fact. I just been living life. So I went to the Santa Crawl on Saturday.
Wow,
First
that's
time.
ballsy
It was my first time.
for our age.
Actually, I was getting down. Honestly, I think
Damn.
I think I could still battle kids who thinks they could because
were
we
battling?
were
Yeah.
both dancers, and so
Commotion.
yes, and then so I was just dancing, and then I ended up in a cipher somehow.
Wow.
And
That's cool.
And I pulled a head spin, and I was like, okay,
Really?
yeah,
Jeez.
I could still move. I'm like, man, for as old as I am, I'm still rocking it.
Good for you.
So and now I went home that night at 6 o'clock in the morning. That was fun. And then
Going home at 6 a.m. does not sound fun.
it is
Yeah.
not, but it was a good night though. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. Sometimes you just gotta just enjoy life.
Yeah,
just take it in.
Just let loose.
Let loose and let the universe take you
Yeah.
wherever it wants you to go, and that's apparently where I wanted to go.
Very nice.
And then also went. I'm gonna get a tattoo.
You did. Oh, you're gonna get
I'm
a
gonna
tattoo.
get a tattoo.
Yeah.
So
What's the date?
this is my first tattoo. I made the appointment in January, so I think it's around the teens somewhere, maybe. I don't know.
This month or next month?
Next month.
Oh wow.
So that's coming around, and it's gonna be. This is my first tattoo, and it's gonna be. I decided I'm gonna go. If I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go all in. So,
Good luck.
but it's gonna be a forearm sleeve.
Wow. Very nice.
It'll
Yeah,
be-
don't you have a... Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's like that's hella dope.
Yeah.
I was looking at it
and
earlier.
I have
was
it
like,
up here
"Sheesh."
too.
Oh,
Oh,
you-
does it go all the way?
Yeah. And then I have one on my back, and then I have all this. And my plan is to go all the way down my back and down my leg.
Oof, Yakuza style.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Just not like that style of tattooing, but yeah. But yeah, the concept of half my body being tattooed is
Hey.
what I'd like to do.
That'd be dope. So maybe next month you guys might see me
Wrapped up.
wrapped up. first time. I'm gonna go in. If I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go balls in.
You know what I really enjoy is, I forgot what it's called, but it almost looks like plastic wrap, but it sticks. And
Oh, like a fake tattoo?
no, not a fake tattoo, but it's Sani wrap, if I'm not mistaken.
What is a Sani wrap?
I don't even know if that's what it's called. But essentially it's like this clear adhesive that sometimes some tattoo artists will put over your tattoo.
Oh, okay.
You leave it on for a couple days and then you peel it off in the shower.
Oh.
But I've had really good success with that because you can leave it on for 3 to 4 days or 2 to 3 days. And usually when I peel it off, it's almost healed because all the skin comes off, and I like it. Some people don't like it, but
That sounds
do.
like I think I've seen some of those videos.
Saniderm, I think it's called.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because they put the Saniderm on top of the tattoo, right? And some people I've seen it where it bubbles with liquid in there.
Yes. Plasma.
Yes. Is that plasma? Mm-hmm. Oh shit. Mhm.
That's what I was
Yeah,
told.
I don't know
Unless they were lying
about
to me.
tattoos.
Well, this is I don't know anything either. Any tips for me as a virgin?
Just be honestly, I'm the worst person to ask because I will fall asleep.
On a tattoo?
I almost find it very
Is there-
therapeutic.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I
That
take
should be a good thing, right? You just
No,
relax.
absolutely. And I feel like if you just direct your energy elsewhere, it's not too bad. Like, don't focus on the pain. There's going to be moments when it's going to be like, oh, that's going to hurt, but just try to redirect very quickly.
I actually handle pain very well, surprisingly. So I don't know. That's why I was like thinking, I might do very well. Who
You'll
knows?
see.
So, well, I'll let you guys know about if I die.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Put me
I
in a
stopped it
chat.
halfway through.
I know. He's like, he just made a line.
it just
He just
right
put
there.
the stencil on Chris Mark.
I'm like,
Oh
oh,
my
I
God.
was like, I can't do this. Who
You'll
knows?
be
We'll see.
fine. You'll be fine. You'll survive.
I'm excited though. So,
Good.
but yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool. All right.
All right. What are we talking about?
Well, today's topic is going to be how to balance ambition and gratitude.
Yes, it is. What's your guys' idea, or what is your perspective of ambition and gratitude?
Like a short definition of it, or
Yeah. When you think of ambition, what comes to your mind?
the grind, just trying to keep moving forward and keep going till you meet some sort of feeling of success.
Right. And how do you measure success?
Honestly, success is dependent on each individual, whether, because I have a vision of my own success.
Right,
you
right.
have your own, JERiCK has
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's like, I don't look up to like the final outcome because things can change.
Right.
So I look for something for me as far as where I feel good, where I'm happy at the point, and that's what success to me is. It's like because if you try to mimic somebody else's success, it's gonna drive you crazy
Yeah.
because you're trying to reach somebody
You're
else's
comparing.
success. You're comparing, yeah. And I think that's a move that people shouldn't do, but a lot of people try end up doing, and they end up depressed because they think about it's like they're comparing themselves at that
Right.
point, and because they can't reach that level, they end up hurting themselves mentally.
Yeah. You're on a different journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
not always the
success is
same.
very subjective. Like you
Yes.
said, like people should just measure whatever you think is successes to you. But I feel like people tend to focus on, I don't know, I guess the numbers.
Yes.
The number?
Yeah, the numbers of, let's just say, the finances. There's like a specific goal number. And then like, if you think about success in, let's say in your business, like, like certain amount of followings or like,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? Like there's always like a measurable thing that people consider as success.
Right.
Like if you don't have 1 million followers, that means you're not successful, right? Like if I guess I don't know if people really put that as like a society kind of pressure. Like you need to have $1 million in order to be rich.
Yeah.
Right.
And like when you go on social media, there's always comparison. I'm like, man, if I'm not making $1 million, that means I'm not successful enough. And
Well, that's the
so
job of social
unrealistic.
media, though.
Yeah.
No, it is. But there are people that do achieve that.
yeah.
And I think that's the whole point of like before success, that's where that ambition comes from. Right? Because it's your determination to achieve something. So I don't think people are wrong if they want to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
that-
wrong with
You know what I mean?
wanting $1 million or whatever your goal is.
Right.
But I think we forget that because like we always put like a really big pressure on ourselves too. I think maybe it's like a fake like pressure. It's because like in my mind it's like, oh, if I'm not a millionaire, maybe everyone's looking at me like I'm a loser. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's like stuff like that that people think about, and I feel like the reality is probably not as people just don't care.
Right.
They got their own shit.
Yeah.
They got their own ambitions to focus on, and yeah, like I think putting that pressure on ourselves, at least personally for me too. Like I like to think that I don't care, but then sometimes I do care.
Right. But I think so. Then it's about balancing, right? Because if you are ambitious towards something, there has to be a level of discipline.
Yes.
Right. But it's not necessarily a pressure. However, if you're trying to get to someplace, you have to set markers and goals to kind of help identify where you're at in that process. And I think that's where it becomes healthy.
Yeah.
Right. Not trying to achieve something that's unrealistic or saying that, you know, today I have $0 and tomorrow I expect to have 10,000. Right. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I think it does tie into a lot of what we talked about before, like goals and, you know, SMART goals, making sure that they're measurable, they're specific.
Yeah.
Right. And I think just understanding and reflecting on what it is you're trying to actually achieve. You know?
I feel
So
like,
go ahead.
I was gonna add on to that. I feel like in order for you to be successful, you have to set little stepping stones, daily stepping stones.
Right.
Not because I feel like when people think about success, let's say for example, like for me it's like I want to be an actor or something. It's like immediately I see that bigger picture,
Right.
and that's the only thing I think about. It's like that. But you also have to set like little stepping stones on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah.
The goals, set goals that you could do to
Yep.
to reach that. It doesn't, like, it could be as little as, like, you know, for JERiCK, every morning he has to make his bed.
Right.
And that's a pretty big thing, because a lot of people
Don't do that.
ever do that. I mean, I honestly don't do it, and I need
Not
to.
me neither. I'm like, I'm gonna get right back in this thing when I get home.
But like,
It's like, why fix it if I need to get back on it later tonight?
exactly,
anyways?
exactly.
Ain't nobody got time.
But I feel
nobody
like
got time.
That's a strong mental mindset right there, because you're setting that little goal first and achieving that, and once you achieve that, you set up another a goal for yourself. Each and every step that you do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Because
and
if
you mentioned a lot of things, because there are like different aspects of ambition. So there's achievement ambition, which is the desire to attain rewards for oneself. And an example of that would be, you know, a promotion. You're trying to get a higher salary, or you're trying to get recognition. Another one is continuously setting goals, right? So you talked about the stepping stones and setting goals. And that essentially is just to drive and achieve increasingly. And I think helping you progress, right? Because you still need to understand that if you're trying to get somewhere, it's not about sustaining, right? You have to climb that hill first.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's difficult, because then that means you have to essentially put yourself in front of challenges, right? And it's sometimes hard to do because you have a lot of life things going on. But I think if you put your mind to it, essentially, right, then you can get to where you want to be. It's just about consistency.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think just focusing on the smaller goals too. I think we automatically put like what success is achieving the big goals, but we don't necessarily think that achieving the smaller goals is a success, because it feels like nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Because what I've noticed for me too, like even me trying to build like my YouTube channel, like me making a video and posting a video, it doesn't feel like it's doing anything at the moment, because it's, I haven't reached 100,000 subscribers. Like being 1,000 subscribers right now, like feels like it's so far away, right? But every single going up, you know, every single video, every single view, it's like exponential growth eventually.
It's still getting you there.
Yeah, so I think like we focus too much on like the big goals that sometimes we forget that in order to achieve that, you got to do the smaller wins, you know? And
I think that's where planning really comes into play, because first you have to recognize what your goal is. So you're going to initially start
Yeah.
with that big goal.
Yep.
But then you have to remove yourself from that end space and kind of take it back to the present time and identify these are the plans and steps to get to that. And in addition to that is making sure that you hold yourself accountable and you stay committed.
Yeah.
You know, again, that's another thing that especially me, I find difficult in because I always look for a partner in some type of accountability or commitment. But I've had to learn that not everybody has the same goals as you or the same
Yeah.
ambitions. So I have to do things independently, and that's okay. But it's taken me many years to realize that and make that disconnect.
Is it because it's easier for you to have somebody around to do those things?
I think so. I think in a sense, I don't like the idea of, I don't want to say being alone, but doing things alone.
I get it.
And it's honestly more so important for me when it's in my relationship. And I think there was a little bit of, I guess, trauma behind it too, because, for instance, health. I was like really I was like doing all these things. I played football, I was doing conditioning, I was doing CrossFit, I was running, and I really focused on my health. But when I made that transition, the partner I was with at the time did not. And so not having the same interest had us,
Separated.
we
So
separated because-
before you got into a relationship, you were very like physically active, and then when you got in,
No, I became physically active I was doing triathlons and stuff. But that happened in the middle of our relationship or towards the tail end.
yeah,
And because the other person wasn't
yeah,
on the same plane, I was like, what is happening right now? And it really did drive a wedge. And so that's always been something I've carried, even in my relationship with Anthony, is I'm just worried if you're not on it because
Did it derail you?
What if I have this, what if I go through the same thing?
yeah. Did it derail you? Like, so you didn't do it anymore, or was it just kind of?
No, I still kept at it, but I think as I grew my relationship with Anthony, because of that mindset, I took myself out of being in that active space because I think I was trying to avoid going through that same experience.
I see. I
And
I feel like in a relationship, like any relationship, as a matter of fact, it's like because I've been in multiple relationships too, and one like thing is like it's like I've had partners and we've had different like things that we wanted to do. I think it's important that each partner should like more so encourage each other, and also help each other grow in that sense. Because if you're not in the same on that same mindset, there's gonna be that disconnect for sure, and it's not gonna be fun.
I guess it does help though too if you understand each other's differences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and that differences are okay. Because Anthony will have his goals, his ambitions. I will have mine. Thankfully, with the studio, it aligns.
Yeah, because like I feel like there's like one of those things that like overlaps. So like your circle is here and his circle is here.
Oh, right, and then the middle is like
and then whatever that middle is, there's
Yeah.
like an overlap. But like
Yeah.
I feel like some people's problem is they want everything to overlap,
Yeah.
and that's not
Well,
realistic.
at that point, you're dating yourself.
Exactly.
You're in love with yourself, which is absolutely not realistic. But as far as ambitions go, what are you all like currently? What are you ambitious about? Goal wise, what's on your thought? What level do you want to be on? What do you want to do next year? Something that you are determined to achieve.
I guess I don't know, because I feel like goals constantly changing
Yes.
depending on
Circumstances.
the circumstances or whatever season my life is on. But for now, I don't know. I've really been feeling that I want to build a YouTube channel that's, I guess overall, just to kind of, the big goal is like, I want to go like do YouTube full time.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can see you
Hell
doing
yes.
that.
that's like the overall like goal, and I have an idea on how to achieve it, obviously, because I've been on YouTube for a while, so I know I guess I know a little bit. So yeah, that's like I guess my big goal. Whatever, I mean, for next year, and then
Nice.
for the next
Well, I think
years.
we've spoken about a lot of topics that could definitely help you,
Yeah,
like creating a plan and
yeah,
creating a smart goal and keeping yourself accountable.
yeah.
Essentially, I feel
So
like
basically, all the stuff.
yeah, I
that,
feel like the last few topics
yeah,
I think could really, really help you in achieving that.
yeah, and I think it's just being consistent too, and actually treat it as a business, and also like what I've realized too is like if I want to get to that next level of, I guess it needs a different version of me. So me that I've been kind of, it's not that I've been slacking,
Right.
but I could have like worked harder and smarter,
Just an evolution.
Yeah, so I need like a different, basically I need to level up to like
Right.
in order to achieve that. So it's yeah, that's just what have been on my mind a lot lately.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I just want to say too, consistency, and I learned this in therapy, because in my mind, the idea of consistency is you do it every single day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not,
But sometimes that's not realistic. Life happens. And when you think about consistency in that sense, you get very discouraged. At least I do. So consistency just means you do it regularly.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you skip a couple days, right, you go back to it and continue where you are, instead of thinking that skipping a day is complete failure.
Yeah.
And now you're upset about it. And then you don't do it for months, and then you start over again. It's like this cycle.
Yeah, it's like whatever consistency means to you, right? It's because like, yeah, you can choose to like, oh, is there 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever that is for you. It's, you have to decide that for yourself.
Yeah. Just allow for life to happen.
I that reminds me of that time I used to go to the gym all the time and I got really jacked and and then
You got really what happened, and you unjacked now?
yeah, pretty much I stopped going. But like I learned about myself. It's like I thought consistency was like, look, what you said, it's an everyday thing. It's like I gotta show up at the gym every day. But that shit drove me crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, because if you like the way I felt if I missed a day, I felt like damn, like
failure.
a failure. Like my mind went down like into a negative zone that it shouldn't have because of that thought process.
Yeah, because it feels like you derailed yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, fuck, like if I miss one day, like, oh, everything's over, you know? And I do feel like that sometimes, and I need to like really like stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a healthy way of thinking, because it's not sustainable for sure. Because when you do that, you just kind of go and end up being depressed somewhere and just kind of beating yourself up. And beating yourself up is never a good thing at all, especially mentally. So I learned
You're
that
with yourself all the time.
yeah.
So
So I learned, it's okay to miss a day or two or something like that, and then get back on track. But it starts becoming different when you start derailing yourself completely from it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You're just in a constant negative state.
Yeah. But I learned that if you
And now you've hindered your progress.
I have, because when you do that, you go through a state of mind where it's like you're just over it.
Yeah, you're not good enough.
You burn yourself out, and then next thing you know, you're just done.
Right.
You're like, I've had it with this shit,
up.
and I'm done. And that's exactly what happened. That's why I was like, my body's not as jacked as it was before. I was like, damn, I was doing so good
He's
too.
unjacked, but he did do a head spin the other day.
I mean, I did the worst head spin ever, but
But he
it was,
did it.
nonetheless, it was still a head spin.
It's funny that you mentioned something earlier, though, that you said you feel more, was it you said you feel more consistent if you have somebody around?
Yes. Accountability.
How do you feel about it now? Like, do you feel like you still need somebody to be?
No,
No?
I don't, because I think what's helped, honestly, is that damn book I've been reading, The Untethered Soul. I feel like when I started reading that book and like this new discovery of, I think, the true mental health issue, I have done a lot better. And I feel like I'm a little bit more level-headed. And so now for instance, if I talk about health and I tell Anthony, it's more like, you know, these are the concerns. Of course, I want you to be healthy, but I know you're going to do it in your own time. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even things about my house, because I have this perfectionist attitude. However, there's been a lot of things that prevent me from being a perfectionist. And that's a whole issue on its own. But one of the things I always had an issue with is the cleanliness of my home, or it not being messy, right? It's not dirty, but we live in the house. And I said something today and I was like, damn, that's progress, because my husband was like, man, our kitchen is kind of out of control right now. And we had like laundry on the couch and, you know, the bed wasn't made in the room. My son's room is very clean though. Good job, Keelan. But I literally responded to my husband and said, well, we live here. It's a lived in house. Hey. And that was like such an achievement for me, because normally I would freaking have a panic and be upset with him.
So you,
hey,
you had
perspective.
a realization, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I was very proud of myself.
That's good. That's a good way of thinking things.
Thank you.
actually.
Just gotta let it go. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to keep that energy. So, all right. What's your ambition?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm not talking like New Year resolution.
no. None of that bullshit. Because those things fail immediately.
That's in like 2 weeks.
Don't do a New Year's resolution, guys. That's bullshit.
Start it now.
Yeah, start it now and do whatever you like. You know?
Yeah.
Don't be following the
Start
trend
when you
of
can.
what people are following. And don't do that gym bullshit either. Because everybody's going to be there. I mean, go to gym because you want to be healthy. But,
Right.
you know, don't try to, you know, fool yourself and then dipping after. But anyways, that's off tangent. Anyways, I really want to get into the acting thing. So for a long time
very
now.
nice.
And being my buddy, so I've connected with a friend of mine, Chris.
Yes.
And so we've just been filming here and there and just trying to, and then for me, I'm just little films like that helps me, in a sense, it progresses me little by little, because it helps me see how my acting is and what I need to work on. And I just want to keep doing it over and over, like a consistent thing.
Right.
We don't do it on a normal daily basis, but we do, when we do it, we try to get some progress in.
Right.
And we just came up with something, and it's on my Instagram, but I thought honestly it was gonna be like a shitty ass little film of me. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I don't even want to see this. It took me at least 24 hours for me to even click the video
Really?
and actually watched it. And then I was like, oh, this is
pretty
this is
good.
actually really good.
Oh,
I was like, damn, I did a
nice.
good job.
There
I
you
impressed
go.
myself. I was like, I really thought it was a bad thing.
I'm gonna have to look at it then.
Oh yeah, check it out. But I think like if the more I do it, I'm just gonna get better and better, and then these little steps is gonna help me get into bigger film
Nice.
and meeting people and stuff like that.
Networking,
Yes.
very important in the industry.
And that's what I'm trying to do right now. But it's kind of cold outside, so it's kind of hard to film things. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can
So-
build things inside.
We can, but we wanna more so the things that we want to do is like an outdoor type of deal, and the weather hasn't been very nice here in Reno, especially on Tuesday. It looks like it might snow here.
Right.
You actually might get a white Christmas.
I mean, it would be pretty. You know what you should do though, because when I think about acting, and I've never acted in my life, I have no idea if this is a thing, but I always
Yeah,
look
you
at-
have. You did a play.
Okay, well, I was Juliet.
Oh yeah,
I know.
remember PCN.
God,
Hey, that
I
was
wish
some
I could
fun
watch
times.
that though.
Seriously,
That'd be
though.
fun. Anywho, I like watching when people are auditioning and they just read scripts.
Yes,
But I think that's what I meant, like not doing a full film where you're acting something out, but just kind of practicing in front of a camera, different scripts, because typically if you're going to audition, that's what it's going to be like.
yeah.
Right? You send in your tape of you reading something and you're pretending to talk to somebody else and no one's there, but you got to show all the emotion.
It was a monologue.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
I
See?
did one of those
don't
with
know how to-
JERiCK, dude.
Oh yeah, because he had like an audition and he Yeah, he basically kind of like a monologue.
There you go.
It was interesting. I could tell you that. Me and JERiCK was in that room for 2 hours for how long is the video? Like a 3-minute video?
Yeah, it's like a short. Yeah, basically
But
a short
I
edition.
feel like that would be an important thing to master, because even though it's just yourself sometimes recording, it's still awkward.
Yes.
You know what it is too? Like me doing this like YouTube video stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's definitely given me more like, I guess, confidence in like my delivery. I guess my performance.
Right.
It's like, I guess the more I do it, the easier it gets.
Right.
Like the more I do the podcast, the easier it gets. And I think it's just putting your 10,000 hours in, you know, because the first time you do a thing, or maybe the second and third time, it's gonna be cringe.
Oh my
And that's
God.
just that's just the reality of things. The first time you try things it's not good.
Right.
That's
Damn
just the truth.
That's a damn truth.
So yeah, like just keep trying, dude. And for you to take 24 hours to watch your video, that's one step too, because like you need to be able to be like comfortable like watching yourself.
Yes. I realized that, but I was like, damn, this thing is gonna suck. And I was like, oh shit.
Because like we are our worst like critic too.
That is true.
And like I feel like we think that other people feel the same way how we looked ourselves in like camera or in a video, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's true, because like they're seeing you from like a fresh perspective, and then for you to like watch yourself being on camera, being on film, it's just, yeah, you just need to get used to it.
Yes, I agree. I'll get used to it eventually, but it's
Not
just
today.
it's like it's just that we just need to keep filming and doing little things.
Yeah.
Little progress helps. You know what I mean? It's a building
consistency.
stone. It's a stepping stone, basically. So the more I do it, the better I'll become at whatever I want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Practice makes practice makes improvement.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
perfect.
not
Because
perfect.
perfection does not exist.
I agree. That's a true ass statement.
That's what my therapist said. Felicia, perfection does not exist. Okay.
That's
Tell
true.
me 10 million times.
I mean, because what is perfect? You know what I mean? It's like perfection is different
It's
in everybody's
subjective.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the topic that we're talking about right now. It's like it's subjective.
Yeah.
Everything is subjective.
It's like we don't really know what perfect is.
We all have different minds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, did you say your goals?
My ambition?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, let's hear it.
Would you like to share your
Sure.
goals?
Well, first of all, ambition was always a word that I used in interviews.
Like, oh, I'm very ambitious.
Yeah, it's a filler. At the time, it was a filler word. You know, like, oh, why do you want this role? Oh, I'm very ambitious. Blah, 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 blah.
It's because
And
I
I'm
need
like,
a job, damn it.
what do you mean you're ambitious? Did you even know what you were ambitioning? I don't even think that's a word. But honestly, now I have a completely new take on ambition, because I do believe in order for you to be successful, it has to be something that you really are passionate about
Yes.
or driven to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do things that you don't like, you're not going to do it.
100%.
And in my current state, it would be obviously photography and the studio. So I have already started thinking about, what does 2025 look like? And because it is our business and there's goal, like, profit, we have to at least, break even. I just want to pivot my perspective a little bit to make it more business-like, right? And have those goals and commit to it.
Yeah.
But also, I realize that having a business and doing the things that you want to do and you're passionate about does not necessarily mean it's go, go, go. Because before, I would always equate my success with me doing things all the time.
Yeah.
And where I'm at now is, don't get me wrong, I'm very determined to get where I want to be, but I feel like it's taken me a few months to identify what it is that I really want to do. And because I've taken that time, I feel a little bit more strategic And I see myself doing all of those things, right? So my ambition currently is to progress in photography, but really get into what I wanted to do, which is making prints and still doing the runway stuff and traveling, but also for the studio, just growing the clientele and essentially making it something that just runs on its own.
Hell yes.
So I'm very excited. I've had a very good perspective shift, I would say, in the last 2 months, because normally in this center, like your heart essentially, I'd always feel so much weight, right? Like I'd always feel very heavy, but now I feel a lot of joy. Like I radiate. I feel like there's this energy or this circle of joy around my heart, and it's nice because it's a different feeling, but it feels good.
That's good.
So,
I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it's just like the changing the perspective of instead of always just trying to achieve your goals,
Yeah.
because I think it needs to become a lifestyle.
Yes.
And you need to be able to balance trying to work hard on something and also like enjoying the process.
Right.
Because sometimes we forget that it's basically like the joy is in the process. You know, like you get to do whatever it is you're doing. Like that should be the success that you have, that you get to do what you want to do. But then like we focus too much on the external. Like I need to be achieving this.
Yes.
So yeah, like, cause I've had the same perspective too. Cause like I realized like, like shit might take a little bit longer than what I've realized.
Right.
And me just like accepting that is kind of like, I guess, put a little bit less pressure on me instead of making it, I need to be like, by next 3 months, I need to like reach this goal. But I'm just like, let me just do whatever I can do every single day and just fucking let that shit roll, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like what you just said actually ties into the whole gratitude thing, right? Because for me, part of gratitude is taking time in the present moment to appreciate what you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and so for my ambitions, right, I guess if I were trying to tie in the gratitude is just being thankful that I have the abilities to do what I think I can do. You know what I mean? And understanding gratitude was very foreign to me. Not that I was ungrateful, but it wasn't something that I thought about, you know, because everything was a worry.
Yeah.
All the things were worry, and you know, finances is always one of the things, but I spoke to my husband. We've had several conversations recently, and it's like, hey, we're doing okay, right? We didn't think we'd be here right now. Or where we are right now, we didn't think we'd have the jobs or the salaries that we have. You know, we can pay for things, we can buy Keelan stuff. And when bills come up, we can pay for them. And it's like, hey, we're doing all right. You know?
Good. Very well.
And it's like, you got to be thankful for the small things. And you can't be too far ahead where you're trying to imagine this lifestyle that's unrealistic for your current time. But I think it helps when you have more appreciation for the things that you are achieving, which again goes back to, I guess, noticing the small things, the small wins.
Because even if you just like look back to all the stuff that you have now is you wished for it.
Yeah.
100%.
A long time ago.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like think about your space right now, or even your equipment.
Honestly, though.
You know what I mean?
Because honestly, like that was a big goal for me too. Like, oh, I want my own like studio, my YouTube studio, whatever. And I'm finally here. Like I didn't even.
You're in it.
Yeah, like sometimes I didn't. Because many years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, oh man, it would be so nice if I had my own space and blah blah blah. And now that I'm here, I'm just like, oh shit, like.
And you have it.
I do. Like I'm basically living my past dream.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So I just need to focus on that instead of like, oh shit, like, yes, I'm here, but then like I'm not there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's we just tend to focus too much on the future sometimes.
I feel like it ends up being very humbling too sometimes.
It is.
You know, and not in the sense of comparing, right? I don't want to do like that third world shit. But what I mean is it brings you back down to earth.
It humbles you, yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And just put your feet back on the ground and be like, look,
Really grounding you.
you woke up this morning. Okay.
You're alive.
Not everybody did that.
Yeah, exactly.
To start.
Exactly.
And I think that's why that's everyone's go-to is, you know, I'm grateful I woke up, because there's at least one thing that occurred in your day, even if you felt like you had a shitty day, that was actually really positive.
Yes.
No matter how, if it was 10 seconds of happiness, like you still have to consider that.
That's true.
And again, that's difficult for a lot of people to do because you're taking in all the negatives, and that's, you know, heavily outweighing the one good thing.
It's funny that we're talking about this because I went to church on Sunday with a friend of mine.
I haven't been to church in forever.
I know. It's crazy, right, that I'm in church.
Oh my God, we're going back in time.
So this, I learned something that day. So the pastor told me, is like, he didn't tell me, but he told everybody.
Right.
So basically, he used an example. It's like he was using Einstein. So Einstein wrote down like 10 problems on the board. He's each of them was like a 1 times 1 type of problem. So 1 times 1, 1 times 2, all the way up to 1 times 10.
Right.
So he answered each and every one correct except for one. He'd 1 times 9, and he put down 91. So when he did that, everybody laughed at him. It's like, dude, you're stupid. What the hell? It's like,
Right.
But instead of looking at everything else that he did right, the 9 others.
Oh, I see.
He was
Focused on
ridiculed. Everybody
Right,
focused
for
on
the
the negative.
91, yeah.
Because a human mindset, we'd rather see people fail than we would them succeed. We have more interest in hearing gossip versus, you know, good news and stuff. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, that is true.
And it opened up my eyes because that's how subconsciously that's how we work. Whether if it's like looking at somebody or ourselves, we take in a lot more of the negative things, and we let that one negative thing action destroy everything we work hard for.
That's true.
And it's crazy that, you know, that it's like one negative thing can just destroy and level out everything that you've done good.
And that's why. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why I think gratitude is very important to be grateful for things. Because it's funny because like I have a patient of ours, very close to me, and they gifted me something for Christmas, and when I opened it, it was a rock, but it said gratitude on it.
Oh, nice.
And what it is it's called a gratitude rock, and I'm supposed to keep it next to my bed or wherever, you know, I feel like putting it. But I just had to. She told me to take that rock every single night and think about what type of things I'm grateful for that day.
Oh, wow.
Because we all tend to forget to be thankful for the little wins that we get on a daily basis, and then next thing you know, we're in a negative mindset. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. This is good. I need this in my life.
Yeah.
It may be something small.
It's because we focus on what we don't have.
Yeah.
And like just like the same as like he got 9 answers right and then he got 1 wrong. Everybody focused on the wrong.
Yeah.
Instead of he got all 9, the other 9 right. You know what I mean?
And no praise except for that one.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? It's like, it's just crazy how our minds work subconsciously, and that's how we were. That's how we
Programmed.
were programmed.
Conditioned
to. And I feel like we should fix that and change it the other way, and look at everything in more of a positive outset versus a negative. It's crazy.
It's going to take a lot of inner work and reflection and a lot of
think it will.
undoing, which
why-
I
yeah.
think our generation is trying to do in some sense.
Yeah.
Is breaking those generational curses or ties,
Yeah.
right? Because we're not following the path that our previous generations have followed.
Yeah.
But again, hard to do. Very hard to do to look at. I mean, especially when you have a Filipino mother. It's almost non-existent. Like, you can't do it. No, but what I was gonna say is what you were talking about reminded me of your story about going to the gym.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you could go back, and granted, I'm not saying put yourself in the past, right? Because you want to be present. But if you were to go back and say, for instance, you missed going to the gym, with your mindset now, what would you do now if you were in that situation?
You know what? Honestly, it's changed me. I thought about this and everything. And I'm thankful that I was able to, for all the days that I went, I'm thankful for. Because if it wasn't for those days that I did, I feel like this body right now, the way it is, would not look like this for sure. You know what I mean?
We get it, Chris Mark.
No, that's not what I mean. It's like,
gym.
but like,
Jesus.
it's like, because I trained my body so much that
Yeah.
it started shaping itself to be this way.
Right.
Versus if I never went, then I would be kind of more pudgy. And
Yeah, like
you know,
me.
you're not pudgy. You look good.
I'm hella pudgy. What you mean? Don't let this oversized sweater fool you. No, but that's beautiful. Like, look at how much that changes you when you just have your perspective changed.
I feel like, honestly, if it wasn't like for that patient of mine to give me that rock, I don't think I would even ever see it that way.
Wow.
It's crazy how the universe has put that whole subject onto me
put that in
within
front
this
of
last
you.
week, just this last week, and I was like,
wow, now we're talking about gratitude?
yeah, I'm like, dude, this is crazy. It's like,
Wow.
it's really hitting me pretty hard, and I'm like, I just need to be thankful for what I have and what I've done, and for my health, that I'm still here, because a lot of people we just tend to look at the negative, and next thing you know, we're in this deep ass rabbit hole of negativity. And I think that's what's wrong with the society nowadays, is because they take for granted everything they've done right versus everything they've done wrong.
Yeah.
And the word gratitude doesn't even exist in their mind. And I feel like by adjusting your mind and the way the society by adjusting the society's mind to think more about gratitude and it just not as a word, that it might help a lot of people mentally.
And it's a constant thing too. It's not like you only do it once and then it's like you have
It's
to
a daily
constantly
practice.
it's a daily practice. And also, like I read this quote too, is like, it's a daily practice to believe in yourself. Like, there's no days off for that, because
That's true.
we're always kind of going back to like some days are just like rough, and then all of a sudden you go into the freaking rabbit hole of negativity, and sometimes it just like drags you down. It's
really
a little bit harder to get out. So if you could just constantly, I guess, when days are rough, like focus on what are you grateful for,
Right.
and then it will just kind of like snaps you out of it, and then it might not like take you out of the negative mindset right away, but it's still like we talked about last episode, where we're like, you need that moment to just kind of like breathe and then okay, now what? Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? So it's
Absolutely.
like having a gratitude like practice. I mean, I need to work on it too. Like, sometimes I forget,
Right.
and I just need constant reminder of, all right, what else am I grateful for? And there's a lot, honestly. As much as I like to complain, but there are so many things to be grateful for.
I feel like I want to add on to this. There was this quote. I don't know if it's exactly by this person, but I think it's Bruce Lee. And what he said is like, you can't talk nothing negative about yourself. Don't say a single negative thing about yourself out loud, because when you do, your body hears it. Subconsciously, you listen to your to it, and then
your brain doesn't know the difference.
Yeah, and your brain, So basically, you're absorbing that energy, that negative talk energy, and you start becoming. It may not happen immediately,
Right.
but you'll start noticing how negative you start becoming.
It's like the 4 agreements.
Yeah, even like when you joke around too, because I remember in high school, even like my early 20s too, like I like to like talk shit to myself.
I used to do that too.
And like, like I've always thought like, oh, it's just a joke. Like, I don't necessarily believe it, But then looking back, I'm like, oh shit, like you keep doing that, you'll eventually believe like whatever shit that you're
exactly
talking
that.
about. And that's why like I don't necessarily like joke around like that anymore.
Same.
Just because it's It's very toxic, and you don't realize that because it's very subconscious.
It's so
Right.
easy to say things like that and then not realize that you're saying you're actually becoming that thing, and that's what something I that hindered me from a lot of things.
Right.
Because I was just so negative. I was like, oh man, I'm so ugly, man, or like I can't dance or some shit like that. Until I started realizing, you know what, fuck this. I am fucking Chris Mark. I'm the fucking best at what I do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this shit, and I'm gonna give myself a chance.
Yeah.
I tell this myself today. I always tell this to myself: give myself a motherfucking chance. You have to,
like
because
it.
if you don't, like some people, they don't think that way, and next thing you know, they're in that negative zone. And some people push themselves so far down that they even commit suicide. That's why I always tell myself, give yourself a fucking
Yeah.
chance every single day and just take it in.
Right.
And if you fail, fuck it. At least you tried.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be
Try again.
thankful for the things that you've done for yourself.
Right. Absolutely.
Hence the subject of today.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some things I did want to mention because part of looking up like ambition and gratitude, I found out some people say there's 3 stages to gratitude. And I do feel like we hit on all 3 in some sense. But stage 1 is acknowledging what you're grateful for in your life.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of like that self-reflection. A lot of people, and I actually teach this in my first day of orientation, is starting your day off with gratitude
Yes.
or mindfulness. But I also challenge people to do that right at night because you've gone through your day already. Right. And so if something went wrong, you just kind of give yourself a moment to reflect on what happened, and you just
Move on.
even if it's one thing, what was one thing that happened today that's
Yeah,
good?
actually, like when people do listen to like affirmations, the best time you do it is like right before you sleep and right after you wake up.
Yeah.
Because your mind is still like in that zone where it's very like, I guess, subconsciously like you're absorbing more because you're just like basically like half asleep, right?
Right.
So like you're like programming your mind, like that's the perfect time to do it. So like doing like gratitude or like affirmations, like do those in those times.
Yeah.
That's why I always try to do it like I wake up, like do that practice because that's the most like I guess
The absorbing time of your
yeah.
mental.
Because in the middle of the day, yes, you can still do it in the middle of the day. You can do it anytime, but during that time, you just basically like kind of like hacking your brain in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
One
feel
of
like- go ahead.
go ahead. No, go
I
first.
was gonna say, I feel like that the reason why that happens is because when you do when you talk to yourself in a positive way during the daytime, sure, you're positive, talking positive, but there's other things in between.
Your mind is already going.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of other obstacles your mind has to go
Right.
through. Whereas if you're going to bed, then your mind is absorbing it, but at the same time, when you absorb it, it has enough time through the whole night to for you to like really
retain it.
Right. That makes sense.
I feel like that's the reason why when I take exams,
Yeah, people like to study
at
like the night
or like
before.
listen to it while you sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've been listening to a lot of things that are uplifting. Like I just let my YouTube play, and because since I've been just into stuff like this, my YouTube just plays like self affirmation type of things
wow.
on a daily, and I fall asleep to these things. I go ahead and I play it, and I let my TV go off. I have a timer for like an hour, and I just let it go. And I
nice.
just
And like that's one way to like hack things too, is because like you're technically hearing it, but you're not conscious.
yeah.
Right.
So it's, hey, that's the best way to hack your
I feel
your
like it
mindset,
worked,
honestly.
Nice. Well, it's not hacking your brain. You're just changing your perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't say hacking.
Hey, hacking is cheat code, man.
We're in the Matrix, bro.
Man. Watch Pantheon. That's like hacking. Anyways. But the one thing in the stage 1, it does talk about making sure that you're being purposeful and intentional,
Yes.
which I think is important, right? It's like, don't practice gratitude because we said to practice gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You kind of have to put yourself in that space and be genuine.
You have to feel it.
Yeah.
So you can feel
absolutely.
gratitude, and then you can say, "Oh, I'm thankful for this," but like if you don't really
Yeah.
feel it, then I feel like you're not necessarily like applying it
Yeah.
in a way.
Absolutely.
So in a sense, you have to be more cognitive about it.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Versus just taking in the word.
Exactly.
The second stage is expressing gratitude to others,
Oh, yes.
which I don't know if we really touched on that because we spoke about a lot of
Personal gratitude.
gratitude, but it says that this can seem like a daunting step. But by reaching out to others who have enriched your life, you can strengthen social bonds leading to greater happiness in life. But I think that's important too because other people need affirmation. Not need, but it's good to
Feels
hear.
good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it's people that you love and you've had good bonds with, why wouldn't you want to tell them that you're thankful for their presence? I actually do that with my son a lot. I tell him all the time, like, I'm so thankful that you're my son, and I'm so thankful that I get to be your mom and stuff like that, because it's almost like by chance, right?
Yeah.
You just never know
Yeah, that's true.
what you're gonna, or you being birthed or you birthing somebody else, right? But I have gratitude towards him because I get to watch him grow, and he's very affectionate and just great.
Yeah. That's definitely one thing that I need to work on a little bit more too. I do it sometimes, but maybe I could do it more.
It's a tough thing because honestly, I thought about that too, and that's a difficult thing for me too. It's like even with my parents, I am thankful for them like so much, but I never like express it to them because I'm like, when I'm like, they don't see this version of me in a sense. They see a different version of me. It's like a more quiet and stuff, but I don't know. It's weird when you're in an environment where you feel like you could be just yourself,
Right.
versus being at home versus being at home with my parents, because I feel like I'm pressured to do the things that is right to them.
Right.
Does that make
right.
sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So it's like it's a work in progress, but I get it. But I definitely am thankful for them, and I hope they see this video sometime.
Yeah.
You'll probably hate the fact that I said I was getting a tattoo.
How do you think my mother feels? I think she wants to chop off every limb on my body.
But honestly, yes. Yeah,
Nice.
I get it.
And then the third stage is integrating the essence of gratitude into your life and psyche, which I think goes back to like that self-reflection and the mindfulness and having it just become a part of your life, just like your daily practices, right? You get up, you do your bed, you do your stretching, and now it's second nature to you.
Yeah.
You'd probably sleepwalk doing that.
What's that?
I said you probably sleepwalk doing that. You didn't even realize you do it.
Yeah.
know what I
Honestly,
mean?
like sometimes like I would wake up and like do those. It's become such like an automatic that I'm basically like half asleep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second nature.
Yeah. And it's I honestly changed my life a lot too. Just because just to like start off my day like in a positive way, because I used to just scroll right when I wake up, and sometimes I don't get me wrong, sometimes I do get caught on that, but yeah, just be mindful and be like, all right, maybe that's not the first thing I do,
Right.
you know. And
Yeah,
that's
I've heard
definitely
Don't let
changed a
yourself
lot
be-
too. Like, don't let that be the first thing that you do in the morning, because you're basically, like we said, like your mind is like still like on that subconscious level. So if you're already consuming whatever is on social media while your brain is still kind of overdrive processing things, it's not good.
Yeah.
And like I've noticed too, when I do scroll, the first thing is like some day, like I notice it, like the days are just like not hitting right, I guess. Like it's just, I don't know, like it's, if you're starting your day off, then
Right.
the rest of your day is going to be kind of
little
off,
bit
you
off.
know? Exactly.
Your intention is
Yeah. So just be intentional. Like
Mindful.
don't let that be the first thing, or maybe the last thing too.
right.
Because like last thing on your mind, first thing on your mind,
Yeah.
those are very important things.
That's hard for me.
I gotta work on that.
Shoot, I mean,
What if
I'm
you're
always.
trying to
Maybe
be
all do.
influencer? It's part of our job. Just kidding.
Watch us.
Oh my God.
Screw everybody else.
Oh man. So
yeah,
oh no.
shit.
So I was gonna say how to balance it, right? Because that's what it talks about. How do you balance ambition and gratitude? So it's about maintaining that healthy perspective, which I think we introduced early on, right? You have your goal, but you need to understand that there's processes
Yeah.
or certain steps you have to take to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
And I think having a healthy perspective is also being very realistic with your goal and not trying to, I guess, bite more than you can chew or chew more than you can swallow.
So,
However that saying goes.
so it's more so knowing that not every goal is going to be achieved in a sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say maybe not achieve, but just knowing that things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Circumstances.
Goals are going to change. Things are going to happen. You're going to pivot at some point. I mean, shoot, your whole interest might even change.
Yeah.
Your goal now, and then tomorrow you're like, no, that's not what I want to do.
Wait, so this thing just came up on mine right now. When you did your research, did you look up like, is it better to, I guess, when you have your goals to kind of like, I guess, do it by yourself or like have I guess somebody else with you?
No, I didn't look up that. No, I didn't. But there is something in here that I do like because it says if you have your goal or if you have your ambitions, recognize and thank the people who contribute to your journey.
Yes.
You know, and I've never thought about that.
Wait, recognize and what?
Recognize and thank the people who contribute to your journey.
Basically, give credit to the people
Yeah.
that's helped you get up there.
And like
So,
that's a really good way of balancing both, right? Because you have your ambitions and you typically do meet a lot of people along
Yeah.
the way that have helped you or supported
yes.
you. And I think that even goes for your friends, right? Your friends, not necessarily somebody who placed you in front of, I don't know, a movie director or this other photographer, right? But just somebody who is confident in you and has shown you that support.
Yeah.
And I think, damn, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I got to do that more.
What?
Honestly, yeah.
Give
Like,
credit?
Yeah, give not necessarily credit, but just being vocal,
Yeah.
right? Because it's one thing to say I'm thankful for this person in my head, but what is that going to do?
Yeah.
You know, and just being okay and I guess in a sense vulnerable to putting those type of positive thoughts out there.
Okay.
I don't know why I stay so quiet.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
let me say this publicly then. Well, I'm very grateful for both of you guys.
honestly.
And
Damn
everybody,
it, JERiCK. I was going to do this first.
everybody
We're all
else,
thankful for
and also
each other.
everybody else that's been on the podcast too. I appreciate you all because I honestly wouldn't be able to do any of this without you guys, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I mean, like, yeah, I could have done my podcast by myself, and like, that's not fun. I already do a lot of things, you know, all the YouTube stuff by myself, that's fine. But like, I feel like podcasts like this, it's a conversation, you know,
Right.
and that's why I like having people around so I can like bounce ideas from. So, yeah.
It's a good release too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here, let me go next. Before
Arigatou gozaimasu.
What?
I just want to say thank you for the both of you for giving me the opportunity to even just do this in front of you guys and be here.
Of course.
I mean, this is I never thought I'd be doing this, and honestly, this is one of the best things that's ever happened to me to be on this podcast because it's helping me in so many ways. Just being here and being able to talk about certain things, the subjects that we talk about. You guys may not know it, but I think about this stuff, and it really helps. Every time I'm in here, I'm always picking up something that I could work on myself.
Yeah.
So I thank you for the both. I thank both of you guys. I can't speak, but
So thankful.
You need to work on the delivery.
but for the people out there too that have interacted with me, I'm very thankful for all of you who have supported me as well as who believe in me. And it's just, you're right. We don't get to say this much often.
Yeah. Gotta say it more.
Well, Felicia.
Our challenge this week is to say thank you more.
You know
Showing
what?
gratitude
I'm gonna
to
start it
others.
with my parents.
Oh,
Wow, that's huge.
Look at you.
I feel like that's scary.
I've honestly thought about this.
Why
Almost
is it
feels
scary?
wrong.
It really does. It really does.
Like, why does that feel so weird to thank your parents?
because I feel like it's because they view us in a certain way. They think we're their princess, their prince or
Right.
something. You know, they view us in such a way where it's what they view of us is not who we are right now in this room.
Yeah, that's
You know
the
what I mean?
truth.
It's
1
a
billion
weird
%.
thing because it's like when I do have kids one day, I don't want to be able to pressure them to feel a certain way. I want them to feel natural around me.
Right.
It's like if you're gonna be doing this, then I want to be able to support you. It's kind of like
Right.
Timothy DeLaGhetto. So his parents supported him through every damn shenanigan he's put himself through. It doesn't matter the type of bullshit that he did.
Right.
It's like every single thing that he did, his parents was able to just be there. And that's the type of support I want to give for my future kids.
Wow.
Because when you do that, success is more easily attainable
Yeah.
versus trying to hide yourself behind mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that makes
I
sense.
love
Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense because
Okay.
I have that mindset for my son. I gotta let him be himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go 30 years hiding who he is
Yeah.
and then trying to navigate life at 35.
And
let's
it's
just
hard.
say.
I feel like it's hard for us because their generation was much more stricter
Yeah.
than what it is today. So they want you to become a doctor. They want you to be this. They think that you're just supposed to be this well-mannered person. But you know what? I mean, I am a well-mannered person, but it's like that's not who I truly am.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had to be that different in front of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know. Is that trauma?
Yeah.
I feel like
It is.
yeah, because it's a part of fear,
Yeah.
right?
So I have this fear of them viewing me in a certain light.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I had to
interesting.
ride that ship.
I think we all have to
I
ride
know.
that ship.
It's like
you know
once
what I
I
mean?
tattooed my hands, there was no going back.
Yeah. My mom actually, I think she watches the podcast sometimes.
Oh,
I don't know if she
that.
watches every single
Single.
single episode,
just
but
kidding.
I mean, Mom, if
Everything
you're
I
still
say.
watching this, thank you. Yeah, for being a good mom. And yeah, I think like I don't say that enough for sure. But I know she knows that I love her. But yeah, and thank you for like not forcing me to do things I don't want to do.
Seriously though.
And it's not like I would have listened anyway. So like, it's just I mean like
Which
I
is
feel like
nice.
she probably knows that. So that's why like she just kind
Kind
of
of backed off.
yeah whatever.
for
But
you.
anyways, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like the society that we live in takes for granted the time that we have with each other. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Because it's like when things are happening and when it's too late, that's when they'll be thankful for you. And it sucks because we don't people I tell people all the time, it's like cherish every moment that you have with every single people that you love because you never know when they're going to be taken
Yeah.
away. I've dealt with so much death whether it be family or friends, and it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And it sucks that I only see that gratitude happen
When they're gone.
when they're gone, when they should have shown it to begin with.
Right.
And that person will never know.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So I want people to know, it's like people, I love you guys. And it's like I cherish every moment that I spend with every single people that I love. Hence the reason why I'm here.
That's
I love
beautiful.
you guys.
This is such like a. I love this. This is nice, and I feel like having you guys around too. It's such a good walk down memory
Yeah.
lane because we're in such different places in our lives, and like I've known you for years.
Yeah.
And even though there was a period where we didn't talk, it's just nice to
Yeah.
kind of reconnect and see who you are today.
Yeah, I've known
I don't
Felicia
know, it's
since
so
middle
beautiful.
school.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm super thankful. Like outside of the studio and what we do for the podcast, you have really helped me. You just listen to me. And I think you truly, genuinely support. And then even like you coming to the podcast and then randomly helping me with my damn ceiling tiles.
Yo, my handyman.
Like seriously, that stuff is a nightmare. And you legitimately did that. And then you gave me like TV stuff so I could mount a TV and
Yeah.
and to me it's
Yeah,
like
Chris Bar actually helped me like with the studio stuff too. So
I don't know. I think that's really cool because again, we haven't connected in so long. So for you to offer that, I thought was really cool. Very thankful.
Once friends, always friends. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like when you stop talking to somebody, that doesn't mean the friendship ends there.
Right.
yeah,
It just means it's pause.
Yeah.
And you come
Just
back to
grow.
it, you know?
But this is nice. This is very beautiful. I think this was a good reflection in itself.
for sure.
I just want to add something here too. So Christmas is next week. And I just want to let everybody know that's watching this podcast right now.
This comes out after Christmas, but yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
damn it.
But JERiCK will get a clip of this before Christmas.
Probably not because I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, well.
I just wanted to say, regardless of whether it be Christmas or what, or
New Year's.
even the New Year's, this
Yeah, New Year's, there you go.
this message is for everybody. It's just these holiday season. Don't be so like caught up in like trying to buy things for people. I mean, you go ahead and get things for the kids because kids love that shit. But for as adults, cherish the moments that we have with each other. Cherish the moments that you have with that your parents are still there, or your brother and your sisters are still there. Your friends are still alive. Take the day off that that's been given to you, and just absorb the moment
Right.
and really absorb it. Because a lot of people, what I notice is that they spend time, but they don't spend real time.
Yeah, it's
You know
not
what I
genuine.
mean?
You're just kind of in your own mind or your own space.
Yeah, and they're not really thinking that, it's like, oh, I feel like they think this person's gonna last forever when it's not until it's too late.
Right.
And I just want people to know, it's like we are expendable. So I want to say, just love everybody that's around you that you care about, and that's the
Absolutely.
message for the holiday season, at least.
Not every day though.
Actually, I'm just kidding. Every day. Do that every day.
Just for the holiday. Oh man.
That's
All
something
right.
that's been frustrating me a lot though too. It's like when people like they take things for granted, and I hate the fact that they only do this, or they only show that type of gratitude when it's too late, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It really does.
Been there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any closing?
Well, I just wanted to list off really
Go
quick,
ahead.
like
Okay.
the whole how to balance thing. So, defining success, right? So, we already talked about what ambition was and what gratitude was, but practicing mindfulness, setting incremental goals, which we talked about organically, I feel, acknowledging your support system, which we just discussed.
Yes.
Cultivating a growth mindset, so seeing challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles. Giving back as you grow, so balance your drive to achieve by sharing your success with others, right? Which is kind of crazy because you don't think about sharing success sometimes. Sometimes people like to hoard information.
Filipino.
Oh, when we're talking about sharing success, like I guess elevating others.
So yeah, it's like mentoring or volunteering
Yeah.
or
Oh, hell
donating.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes people are very fearful to share information, especially because you fear being overshadowed.
Yeah.
Or
guess.
just like competition.
Yeah.
Sometimes people like don't want to share information because
Reno,
they don't want to
Nevada.
because they don't want to have to compete with you.
Yeah, you want to be the best, but I feel like, and I tell my husband all the time, I was like, it's okay to share information because at the end of the day, you have to be confident in yourself to think that you'll still be successful or you'll still get to where you want to be. All right.
I was gonna say, it's like, I feel like what we're doing here is also mentoring our.
Yeah, I'm
Our-
also
our
mentoring
audience.
myself.
Yeah.
Because
It's
like,
my therapy, and also I
Yeah.
get to help somebody else out there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like what we have here is an amazing thing to help others, and it's a good platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last two, so regular reflection, take time to reflect and kind of check in on yourself, right? Does this goal or does this still align with your values? But the last one, I think you touched on it, is avoid comparison. While ambition can sometimes fuel comparisons, gratitude helps you focus on your unique journey and strengths.
Yes.
I like that.
And I think that's a really good ending point because it's hard to not compare sometimes.
It really is. I mean, honestly, because
I
there's so
compare
much.
myself to my old self.
Exactly. It's hard
And that should be the only comparison that you should be doing.
against
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
not against anybody.
At least your
else.
old self.
Yeah, I mean,
It-
unless it's negative, then don't compare yourself.
Yeah.
Like I look at old pictures when
Oh, when you
my waistline was a little bit slimmer.
when you were
you'll
like
still get
10
there, you'll
years
get there.
younger.
I know. I have been doing good. I will say I've lost 10 pounds.
Consistency.
Hey, good for you.
Yay,
Congratulations.
for real though. That's an achievement. 10 pounds.
Yeah, 10 months
Yeah,
a
have you
lot.
carried 10
Shit.
pounds before? My God. It's like a baby. I'm just kidding.
1 pound at a time is still a
It's true.
success.
Yeah.
You know.
Even half a pound.
Yeah.
I'll take
any
an ounce.
any is success.
Oh, man.
But anyways, I think that was a pretty good podcast. I feel like we've shared a lot and then we've learned too.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude,
It's always a learning session for me, I feel.
Yeah.
This is
same.
therapy session.
Honestly, yeah. I was like, oh, don't need to pay for therapy. I'm already doing it.
Oh, well, I still pay for therapy. And it's okay. I
It's
love
like,
it.
You know what?
technically have to pay.
I double pay because I have a therapist and a psychiatrist. So at least this is for free. But is it? I don't know.
You're paying
I
it with
gotta
your
pay
time.
rent. I'm just kidding. I pay for time.
But yeah, that's it for this week's episode. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yes. Bye.
Peace.